Hola, mis maravillosos estudiantes. Hello, my wonderful, wonderful students. Welcome back to another Spanish Part 4, la parte 4. Así que si no has visto parte 1, 2 o 3, por favor regresa para que así estés al tanto de las palabras en inglés que subimos viendo. If this is the first time you see Part 4, please, I ask you to go back to Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. That way you can review the Spanish words. So we're having so much fun just reading and figuring out this mystery of the jumping crazy beans. So let's review real quick what we have so far and then introduce our new vocabulary. Vamos a leer una vez más para repasar lo que ya hemos leído y después ver nuestras nuevas palabras. So this is our book that we are looking at. Remember the icon here on the top. This is the big idea icon, because that's what this whole book is about. It's about Lucas, our character, and his crazy beans. But also we introduce, and if we see these pillars, they're supporting cast, and we know that Grandpa plays a big part in the big idea. So let's review the story. Abuelo, abuelo, I yelled as I ran. And remember, when we come across one of these Spanish words, you can look at some of the clues here in the book. So there's abuelo, and abuelo means grandfather. That's right. I hugged him and held him, grabbed hold of his hand. Each verano, I visit abuelo's small ranch or ranchito. We fish and we swim when given a chance. Early one morning, we walked a long ways over rocks and through ramas. We trekked through the maze. Remember, this icon gives us, it's about details. So anytime you see that icon, I always like to look at the drawings and see that they are in an area where there's mountains and, there's not a lot of grass. There's probably the dirt is very rocky, but there's definitely cactuses. Where are we going, abuelo? I asked. To a lugar in the mountains where I played in the past. I was tired and wanted to get there real soon. My panza was rumbling as it approached noon. As we reached some tall matas with shiny green leaves, my abuelo said, "Estos son the right trees. Dame tu mano," and slowly come near. Keep very still. Now what do you hear? And what was it that we could hear? He pushed apart bushes and then pointed down. Many semillas were jumping around. Semillas, the seeds. Click, 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 snap, snap, snap. The soil looked alive. And I quickly stepped back. Of course. That's a detail. It lets me know he was sort of afraid. I would too, if I see some seeds that are jumping on the ground. Mira el detalle. Él tuvo que retroceder. Eso muestra que tuvo un poco de miedo. Yo también tendría miedo si estuviera viendo estas semillas brincar. ¿Qué son? I asked as I dropped to my knee. Son brincadores, or Mexican jumping beans. Are they alive? I asked, quite surprised. Sí, I'll tell you a cuento story if you sit by my side. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to, now hear abuelo's cuento. We're going to hear grandfather's story so that we can see what are these jumping beans are all about. But first, let's review our vocabulary. Remember, that is the language of discipline icon from depth and complexity so that we can use our words. Please remember, follow by saying the word out loud. Hoy. Can you guys repeat it? Hoy. That means today, this day, right here, right now, today. And I'll put the logo of the show because most of you probably have heard of the show today. Hoy. Say it one more time. Hoy. Very good. Joven. Joven. That means young. Young, just like you. You are joven. You're very young. At the moment, you're in maybe, in the, of course, we're looking from first grade all the way to fifth grade here. So depending on your age, but you're still very joven, very young. Caja. Caja. Don't forget to repeat it. Caja. That means box. It's a box. En una caja. And remember, boys and girls, that I'm challenging you that once you know these words, go ahead and practice them. Maybe your parents get an Amazon order and it's right there in the porch. So when you go out, you can say, Mom, can I go out and pick up the caja that is at the porch? Meses. Don't forget to repeat. Meses. Now this is in the plural form, meses, which means months. If it was, we take off es, then it would be mes, which means 1 month. But this is meses, months, which is, in your calendar, January, February, etc. Hay 12 meses en un año. There are 12 months in a year. ¿Qué mes estamos? What mes, what month are we? Polillas. Polillas. That's a funny word. That's a fun word to say. Polillas. Which means moths. Almost looks like the word months, doesn't it? Moths. Polillas. Which are these little animals that I'm sure you've probably seen at least one time in a pantry. I know my family, a personal connection. My family, we had to battle against polillas for the last 3 months because once they are born, boy, they are everywhere. Polillas. Months. Months. Polillas. Then we have the word solos. Go ahead, repeat it. Solos. Yeah, which means alone. Solos. Alone, which simply means, one, or being, separated, solos, or one, or just us, alone. So those are the words that we're going to be looking at today's story. Remember, Grandpa's about to tell Lucas a cuento, or a story about when he was a child. So let's listen in. When I was joven as you are today, I carried some with me in a caja to play. The worms wiggle around for most of the day, eating the inside of the semilla away. So that's what they are, the little worms that eat the seed inside of it. So there's the caja, joven, hoy, today, and there's the caja, box. Hoy, which means today. Yes, that's right. That's today, hoy. Joven, which means young. Yes, like you are joven, someone that is young. Caja, which means box. Very good. Caja. Repeat it one more time. Caja. Excellent. So here we have our first 3 words. So Grandpa's telling a story, and look at the detail. He looks just like him, doesn't he? This is Grandpa when he was joven. After several meses, remember what meses mean? They'll go very still, abandoned, solos, on an old windowsill. I would forget them until one spring day. The polillas, and you can see those, leave the seed and all fly away. So there they are, flying away. Meses, months. Polillas, moth. Let's review the words. Meses, months. Remember that? There are 12 meses in a year. Polillas. Polillas. That's going to be a fun word to say. And make sure you watch out. Look in the pantry. Make sure that polillas don't develop in there because it's hard for them to leave. Polillas, moths. Yeah, there they are. And then the last one, solos. Remember, the book says that Grandpa says in his cuento that they will be sitting there alone by themselves, and then they will just fly away. All of a sudden, they're gone. So then I wonder what's going to happen to them after this. I guess we're going to have to wait till next time.